Questions and comments? The honourable for Courtney Alberni.
Speaker, he talked about, he called them gimmicks. Let me remind my colleague that in 2021, the Conservatives brought forward the idea of having a GST holiday, just like what was implemented and passed in this House. They also brought forward the concept, Madam Speaker, of removing the GST on home heating. What did they do, though, when the NDP brought forward a motion to do that? They voted against it. So they bring forward ideas, but if it's not them that's putting forward the motion, they vote against it, Madam Speaker. One thing we do know is that when the Harper government was in power and the last time Conservatives governed, they gave a 7% tax cut for big corporations that cost over $70 billion to Canadian taxpayers, Madam Speaker. They gave a 1% tax break to small business. So we know where their priorities are. So through you, Madam Speaker, are they going to make promises and then continue to break them? Is that the plan? Or are they going to put forward something and share something today that they actually want to support and work with other parties on? Because we have not seen them in 9 years. I can't think of a thing that they've gotten done. Instead, we've been working dental care, pharmacare. Madam Speaker, I'll let my colleague present something here that maybe we can work together on.
Order. The honourable for Etobicoke-Mactaquac.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thanks to my honourable colleague. Always enjoy our conversations, and we had a brief stint on fisheries together. And again, thank you for your question. But what is glaringly and absolutely obvious in this, and every time they go back and say, well, when Harper, we're 9 years later, they've had a government that they and their party have been propping up that has produced no results on the environment and cost Canadians exorbitantly more. And when it comes to this latest GST gimmick, and I call it a gimmick because I just got a call from a small business owner last night who's saying how frustrated he is right now because this is only going to be for a month and a half, and it's only on certain items, and other items are exempt, and it's not applicable across the board. It's leading to more frustration, more consternation, and no relief on a broad basis for Canadians that are desperate for relief, and the best way they can get that is have a carbon tax election, and they get to choose.
Time for a brief question. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary of the Government House Leader.
Madam Speaker, the members lost the point. It was a Conservative idea, albeit a month as opposed to 2 months, and it's a GST at a time in which I believe is an appropriate time to do. And so here you have Conservatives that actually campaigned. It was in their Conservative election platform. And Madam Speaker, the leader of the Conservative Party at the time actually tweeted on it, saying it was a good thing. Now we have the time to vote in favor of it, and yet they decided to vote against it. I think it's a legitimate question to ask, why the change of heart?
Answer. The Honourable for Etobicoke-Mactaquac.
I just want to say thank you, Madam Speaker, and thanks to my honourable colleague. And I will say this, he is truly a workhorse in this House. He's here and puts in more hours. A close, maybe if not first, but close second would be the member from Lakeland, I think, who's here almost as much as he is. And I will say this, they're workhorses. But to your question, I think what Canadians are clear about, they don't want some temporary, and at this time of economic crisis, what little bit of relief is being provided for 6 to 8 weeks is not even going to scratch the surface to the need of Canadians. You know what they're crying for? Is a permanent, full-time axe of the carbon tax for everyone, everywhere. What better way to get it than a carbon tax election? Let's have one.